I didn't realize that this has got a very serious knife on it. I really like that. As soon as I saw that, I kind of went doot doot doot. Oh, it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. The bees are out flying. As I was putting out my tools here, there's a couple honeybees checking everything out. Let's talk about knives. Sharp things, utility stuff. Okay? I wanted to talk a little bit about something that we all use at our off-grid properties, and that is little utility tools, utility knives, steak knives. I've got some of my stuff laid out here. Main thing though is Bibery, I'm saying that right?
The Bibury Multitools.
So a company by the name of Bibery.
Bibury sent me this multi-tool, and I already had one of these, so I was, at first I kind of looked and I was saying, you know, I probably don't need it. But then this actually has some extra features that my Gerber, let's call it Gerber.
But not Gerber.
Let's take a look at this, and I'll explain sort of what I have here. So just to start, I'm going to just sort of start this by saying I basically only use 1 or 2 knives up here. You know, I have a bunch of collections, but this is one that I use often for most of my cooking and stuff. And these aren't expensive knives at all. These are dollar store knives. Steak knives I didn't have up here for the longest time, and I finally went out and bought a set. I've got a couple more inside the cabin. Nothing wrong with dollar store stuff. Biggest thing is that, you know, when they say stainless steel, it's not so stainless. With any stainless steel knives, you got to keep them dry because they will rust, and all of these have a little bit of surface rust I'm noticing right now. So that's the thing with cheaper knives. I've also, you know, I put these out just because I don't, you know, if I can avoid using power up here, I do. These are old school, so I use these for tapping my maple trees when I'm doing sugaring. I've used this in the cabin a few times instead of, you know, firing up the generator. This is before I had power stations. So I've used these and I love them. They're quiet and noiseless. They just work perfectly. Another little off-grid hack here. Flashlight, you know, if you ever run out of batteries, get yourself one that you can just hand crank and powers itself. Really easy to use. Good to have around your back pocket. And this is the utility knife that I had, and I really do like it. It has pretty much everything you need in there. What I like about these are it's got a spring-loaded set of pliers here. I've had this for a few years. I really like it. I don't think it's one of the expensive ones. I know there's there's sort of a top-tier brand, and I might put the name in here after I do the video. But I've really liked this. Excellent little tool, and I use this all of the time, even for cooking. I've used this to slice an onion or two for sure. And of course, here is the long-standing Swiss Army knife. And I just have always had a Swiss Army knife. They're good to have. They're good quality. Always use this for beekeeping and stuff. But this is what we're looking at today, and this is the Bibury Multitool Pliers Pro.
Bibery.
I already had this puppy open, had a look at it, and I found some things that I really do like about it. So let's have a look. So first thing I'm going to mention is the weight of this, like the quality of it. For what is a pretty relatively cheap set of pliers, I was kind of surprised at the price tag. It's a nice heavy little unit. It comes with a carry case. We'll have a look at that in a second here. And pop this bad boy out. But first thing I can tell you, this has got weight to it. It is probably, I don't know if it's twice the weight. You know, it's a little bit bigger, but it's almost twice the weight for sure. It feels solid, put it that way. So first thing, of course, are the pliers. And this is kind of the mainstay of this. One of the things I noticed, and this is right away, and this isn't meant to be a comparison video, but the one thing that I like about the Gerber is that it's got these spring-loaded pliers. So when I release that, it just opens on its own. This one does not. So that was sort of the first thing. Not a big deal, but I like the spring-loaded ones. But very hefty. I like the length of it because you're actually going to be able to, you know, get a good grip on things. Okay, let's have a little look at the knives here. So on this end, so this is the serious one that I was telling you about. Very, very, very solid knife. Love it. Again, it locks. On this side, you've got your file, which again, nice and solid, nice and sturdy there. The other thing, and I just noticed this now, it's got measuring tool on here. So on both ends, you can see here. I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up, but you've got measuring right to the edge, so up to 8 inches and just over 20 centimeters. Little measuring tool built in. Maybe all the knives have that. I haven't really checked the other ones out, so I'll have to have a look. And then the other ones, this blade here, and on this side, I think these are the scissors. And then there are your scissors right there. Well, those don't seem to be, are they spring-loaded? Yeah, sure they are. There you go, perfect. In the pouch here that they give you, you've got various multi-tools in here. Now, I'm not sure if I'll use these regularly just because I've got, you know, my screwdriver sets, but I could see if you're, you know, if you're working outside and stuff, you don't want to bring your whole kit. This might actually do you pretty good because it's got everything you need in here. Nice little unit. It's certainly got some weight to it. It's not, you know, of course I'm still going to hold on to my Gerber. I love this.
Gerber.
But in case of redundancy, you never know. I do use this around the bee yard. I have misplaced this a couple times, so always good to have a backup. And this has got a couple of extra blades on it. It's a little bit more of a heavy-duty knife, and I really like it.
The Bibery.
Bibery is offering a discount, so check the description. And if you want a nice little utility knife, I can recommend this one. Thanks, Bibery.
The pleasing prospect of Bibery.